random talk.
Welcome to the CFG GameCast, episode number 87, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on Saturdays and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. So show us some love. Give us a follow, a like, a comment, what have you, on any podcast service that's currently out there, or go to our main website, Con Freaks and Geeks, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today are my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What's going on, Lex?
Buddy, not too much. Just been recovering. Haven't been feeling so great, so I didn't really get to game that much, which I was sad because I really thought I was gonna finish Little Nightmares 2. But my community, and I try not to divulge too much unless I'm asked, hey, why are you not streaming tonight? I try not to be it's because I don't feel good, sorry. I usually just say, hey, no stream tonight. And two people were so sweet from my community and gifted me games from my wish list. So I was like, aw. And they were like, I know you're not saying it, but I can tell you're probably going through a lot. So here you go. And I'm just like, now I'm crying and I have a headache and it's all your fault.
I was noticing that I've only picked up on your stream. Did you only stream once this week or twice?
Twice. So, and we cut it short last night because I'm still kind of weak feeling. Which sucks. I've been I caught up on all my chores, and yesterday I was like, I can lay in bed all day if I want to. And then I just have to do laundry today, and we're good again. So I can just lay around all day tomorrow too if I want. But we have our family game night with the other family that we're in a pod with. And I got my butt whooped at Clue. And then we got caught cheating. I wasn't cheating.
Wow.
Brandy's papa, her grandpa,
Look at that.
he was cheating because I was like, you're writing on the wrong list, right? And because I'd seen him put the one for that game down, and he was writing on the first game's list. And he goes, no, I was not. And I go, I can tell you what you asked me and what answers I gave you, and you can see if they correlate. And he was like, okay. And Brandy had gone to the restroom, and one of the girls had a nightmare. So she was checking on them, and he picks up Brandy's list, and I'm like, oh, no. And here comes Brandy, and she's like, you two were cheating, and I'm like, no. So, I'm not playing Clue with them again. I got in trouble.
You were guilty by association. We all know that.
I know. Brandy, I didn't mean it. I know you watch on Facebook. I didn't do it. It was Papa's fault.
Hey, but Lex, you do know who killed Colonel Mustard in the library with the lead pipe. I
do.
The five-star general of the itty-bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. How are you doing, Smitty?
Yo, that was so hype. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yo, things have been going well. I've been grinding out Outriders. We got a lot to dig into as far as with that. I've been enjoying that. I got a little bit of Destiny in, and I've been working with part of a alumni council for the theater department for my college, my alma mater. And we're doing our alumni weekend right now. So we put on and streamed a concert last night. We did a Q&A. I actually got done with a Q&A right before podcast. And then we did something earlier. So it's been nice being able to connect with students, being able to go back and work with people and collaborate with people that are doing all kinds of things within the entertainment sphere on theater, film, all kinds of different things. So it's fantastic. So, it's been good. It's been good. It's chill. I've gotten some cleaning done. I'm excited to just kind of chill out a little bit. The same. I'm just gonna do a little chilling out this weekend. And more Outriders.
Let me interject here. He is being very nonchalant. One of the people that went to his school, you may know him. He was Unique from Glee, and is now in the show Zoe's Playlist as her next door neighbor. And he sang, don't you play this down like it's no big deal.
I didn't know,
had Alex
though.
singing.
Smitty is essentially a person that's
Absolute
saying
gorgeous voice.
He's
Smitty
also
is
been on
basically a
Broadway.
person that's saying
and
that it's like he's not a big deal, but he's a big deal.
He's a big
That's what
deal.
he's essentially
Yeah.
saying.
No, I look,
He's a
I just
big
do the
man,
work.
too.
I just do things. I like to do things and stuff. But it's fantastic being able to work with other people that are there on that level and doing things of that nature. It's always nice to be able to collaborate with people like that and stuff. So I've been enjoying it, and again, being able to give back, and we help raise $500 for the students at the school as well. So it's been, it was a lot of fun. What about yourself, Davis? How have you been, brother?
Oh man, busy as always. I've just been always on the go. Like been actually, I don't know what it's been going, but I've been in this good drive on streaming as of late. So I've been pretty consistent on it. Been playing a lot of different kinds of games, meeting some new people. I met this really
Found your flow.
It's really cool. I found my flow on it, and I just like the fact that it feels like the CFG games community is growing slowly, but it's going up there. So definitely appreciate it. But been having a good time playing a lot of different games in Outriders and stuff. I really feel bad though, because like a game like Outriders is a game that you have to consistently be playing, because it's a looter shooter, kind of like Destiny or, the Division and stuff like that. But we get so many different games coming at us at the same time. It's like, I hate when, like, it's really sad when someone's like says, hey, I'll buy this game if you play with me. It's just so open-ended to me. It's like,
I know.
I don't want you to spend $60 and then be like, yay, we're having a great time this weekend, and the next weekend I'm doing something else. It's like, I feel really bad when I do that. So, so I'm trying, so don't take it, like, I try not to make it like, tell them like don't take it personal, I'm busy, but more like, you know what, you try to play, like, I'll be there when I can, right, and I'll do my best to be a part of it. I would love to, but no, I definitely had a good time. And then I also was telling Lex before the deal, like, I don't usually watch TV, but for some reason, Friday, if I had to pick a day of when all my shows come at the same time, Friday is that day. It's like, so like I was catching up with Invincible, catching up with like Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, there's like 6 other shows that are like an hour long. They're not 30 minutes. So I'm just like, man, it drives me insane. So,
and it's nice that you're watching a show that I'm watching, because I must have had a seizure in the middle of the episode last night. Because like I remember big plot points, but then I'm like, what happened in between? And Smitty walked away or had to go to the meeting, and I was like, so what happened last night? I remember this and the what happened?
You guys did get to have the conversation.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I'm like,
I'm gonna have to rewatch it again though.
I think I'm an episode behind on that, and I'm not 100% sure. That's the Winter Soldier. I'm like an episode or 2 behind on Invincible.
I didn't watch that. What is that?
That's good. It's
So
an animated.
It's animated.
Like basic. It's like, think of like The Boys ish. It kind of reminds me of like that adult level humor.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's an animated series.
See,
I'm enjoying it.
I'm watching The Irregulars right now. Is that what it's called? Irregulars?
Yeah, I know you're talking about the one with the the 19th century.
Yes.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, with Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Well, because there was another show that I've been seeing commercials for, and I'm like, oh, they must have a couple episodes, and it's on HBO Max. It's one of their new originals. Guess what? Can't find it because it doesn't start till this Sunday. So I'm like, well, I'll wait a couple weeks.
But that's okay. That's okay. I know everyone don't want to be talking about our favorite shows currently into it. So let's go through the normal rigmarole that we normally do each and every week. So each of us picks a new topic of discussion within video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be about a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry itself. And we don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the viewers on Twitch, Facebook Live, and on YouTube to be a part of the conversation. So by all means, if there's something that you see that we're talking about and you want to chime in on it, we encourage it. So type it in inside the chat, and we'd love to talk and to discuss it with y'all, with everyone here. So let's get into it. We'll start the topic off with Smitty. So Smitty, what are you bringing to the table?
You guys know what it is. We got to talk more Outriders. I know last week we talked about it. We are now a week into this, right? We are and have had a lot of connectivity, stability issues, multiplayer issues. They said, and I feel, that they've been pretty transparent as far as with what they've said as far as with these issues. They didn't go into a lot of detail originally, but now they have. We knew that this was going to come, and they still have no official. And I'm going to read directly from this article as well, just because I want to make sure that I'm touching on this, because they were very specific as far as what the details were, what the issues and problems that they saw, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So directly from the article, they're saying they did a Reddit sub post. Is what they did. And they said that in the studio's most recent Reddit post, the team worked all through Easter weekend and around the clock to get the servers stable for players eager to jump into Enoch, furthering their promise to be completely transparent with players. The post details the more technical deviations that caused such a chaotic launch. Instead of giving the server demand was too much for us explanation, People Can Fly took it one step further. This is a direct quote from them. We managed to understand that many server calls were not being managed by RAM, but were using an alternative data management method, swap disk, which is too slow for the flow of this amount of data, explains PCF. Once this data queued back too far, the service failed. Understanding why it was not using RAM was our key challenge, and we worked with our staff across multiple partners to troubleshoot this. Post continues saying, we spent over 2 days and nights applying numerous changes and improvement attempts. We both doubled the database servers and vertically scaled them by approximately 50%, which I don't know because I don't know what the base number is and stuff like that. I imagine people that do numbers and stuff know that. They're saying scale up and scale out. We rebalanced user profiles and inventories to new servers, which could also be causing some of these blips of people's inventories as well. I don't know if this corrected that or not. Subsequent to the scale up and scale out, we also increased disk IOPS on all servers by approximately 40%. Again, I don't know what this means exactly. I'm guessing it's a good thing. We also increased the headroom on the database, multiplied the number of shards, not the anomalous kind, and continued to do all we were able to in order to force the data into the RAM. So it sounds like basically where the stuff was getting allocated is what caused that jam up.
Incorrect, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the flow of data wasn't going the way that they had necessarily planned on it going. Mm-hmm. They did say, I do remember that they said something about the team added at this moment in time, we are still waiting for a final root cause analysis, the RCA, from our partners. But ultimately, what really helped resolve the overloading issue was configuring our database cache cleaning, which was being run every 60 seconds. At this frequency, the database cache cleaning operation demanded too many resources, which in turn led to the above-mentioned RAM issues and a snowball effect that resulted in the connectivity issues that were seen.
Okay, so basically what they're saying was they didn't have enough. Headroom for the amount of data that was pushing in. They put the cap level. The cap level was here, but the cap level needed to be here. Screen, like here for it. So that does make sense from it.
That and the flow of data, that flow of data and how they intended the flow and how it was actually flowing seemed to trip them up as well. My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that crossplay is now working across the board. I was supposed to test it out with Kenobi and I completely spaced it with having to jump into that meeting and stuff like that too. But I was gonna try to test it before we went live.
Yeah, I know yesterday PS4 to PC was working. I don't know about PS5.
Zuzu says it is working. They said for everything. Yeah. Okay. So they resolved that issue. Yeah, allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll get into that too, because not only were there, and obviously those were the main things and issues that people were really seeing was with this connectivity. But they made a ton of nerfs and stuff like that as well, which were, I personally I didn't really feel like I felt that effect per se. I did notice, and this could be a build change, that I had my toxic bullets less. but I didn't really feel the nerf. I would say myself, and I'm curious because I see Zukara the Tall. That really is sticking out as far as the nerfs being drastic. I didn't like how they bumped the time down on some of the
cooldown,
some of the expeditions. Like, I don't know that I'm necessarily sold on them being time trials per se, and I don't know what the solution for that would be.
Make them bigger or longer if they did. I mean, like
more like a raid. But I think they're going to eventually introduce like a raid like mechanic as well. Yeah.
I mean,
we'll have to see.
Well, to kind of unpackage everything that you're kind of saying right now, from what I'm gathering on what I'm getting from all of this is that, well, first off, thank you God that they are that transparent on saying this is what happened. Yeah, this is what happened.
That was beautifully written, especially for even if you don't know much about PCs or computers or how everything works. Like, that was so to the point. A dumb McGee would be able to figure that out.
Because
not saying anyone is, but
yeah. But here's the thing, though. I mean, the biggest thing I definitely loved about it is the fact that when someone, because like when public does not know, like, why is it failing? Why is this game being a piece of crap the way it's been? I can understand the frustration. I can understand what people's anger towards it. But what makes it worse is that when they don't come and tell you this is what failed. This is why it did what it did, but we promise we'll make it better. It's just like if we don't know like the cause of all that, you're basically giving us an empty promise that you're going to make it a promise of like, oh, this isn't going to happen again. It's like, oh, it failed. Don't worry, we're going to make it work. And then you're going by their word. So first off, give you kudos on that. And I love that they were that specific because I know exactly what they were talking about on the server issues with it. But the whole thing is like, so very good on them on that, and very good on what they did to change it. Now, secondly, when it comes to so stability, I still feel that there are still kinks on it. Because like I've been playing fairly consistently of Outriders this week. I hope there's going to be another patch. I don't think it's going to be as like as critical as what they needed to do this previous weekend to what they're needing to do now. Because like now it's like because yesterday I was going to try to play with Zuzu or Zakar the Tall. With Smitty last night, but then when Zakara sent in an invite to his game, it bricked my whole PC. Like it totally just froze it. Like didn't know what that to do, so I had to reboot. And by the time I came back, Zakara was playing a completely different game. I was like, okay, cool. So I might as well just not play it. Yeah. So like there is still kinks into the mix, and I have heard a lot of issues with the game as well, saying that people are losing their whole inventories and stuff. Haven't seen it myself, but yeah. So they're still working on it. The biggest thing is that if people are still playing it, there's still a good amount of concurrent players, because we don't want to see like what happened with Avengers. It just here it was, and 2 weeks later, no one was like the drop off was very steep. Yeah, we don't want to see this for this kind of game, especially for a looter shooter, because that will kill the game and its possible expansion and its growth and stuff in this game. Because to be honest with you, the game is good. I like playing the game, and it's fun playing with people like that. So now when it came to Smitty's thing about the hacks and the nerfs, I don't know, because was it a Technomancer nerf essentially? I mean, what is
there was nerfs on all kinds of not only nerfs per se with certain builds, like certain mods got nerfed, certain damage output got nerfed, how things interact with things. Shut up. Like all
that's how we talk in
all
Indiana.
That stuff. Like using my lips today is so difficult, and I don't know what the problem is. It's been like not even today. It's been like the whole week.
Yeah,
I shaved. I'm tripping over the non-beardness. Is that what it is?
There's no weight to it anymore.
You're in baby Smitty
it's like,
mode.
ow, my lips.
Ow, my jaw. I'm sorry.
I do. Yeah, the game is fun, but now I'm at a point too where I'm starting to get a little nervous. Only because I've basically done everything right. We're doing the expedition stuff and whatnot. and there's still, I have the last level to do as far as with that, and then it's basically creating a build. After that, or creating my builds or whatever, like after that though, there's not anything left. I think really there might be a couple of little things that I have to go and find, but you know, I don't know. That's going to be the true test for me again. Am I going to hit this wall where I'm just like, all right, I got everything? I mean, there's also 60 something exotic weapons. I think exotic weapons, or is it weapons and gear? But there's exotic a ton of not exotic, legendary.
Yeah, legendary.
There's a ton of stuff still to get as far as with that. But again, I could see my replayability dropping off once I get a lot of that stuff. So, you know, that is going to be the true test for me, is getting that point and being like, all right, am I going to continue playing it as hot and heavy as I have been? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I already got a Destiny in last week. I had to go back and get my Destiny in. So, you know, or, you know, I could see this nice little balance of doing both. We'll see. I love it. This game is awesome. I love the story. It's so nice to actually see the technical things get settled down. Just that transparency level. The fact that they said they were going to be transparent about it, and then they were super specific, getting into here is exactly what the issue is. Again, we still have to work for this RCA to get the official. But this is what we believe is the issue. This is what we did to solve and alleviate that issue. They are making the right moves. I think people are going to be, you know, again, you'd be a fool not to be patient. And they are. There's not many companies in you know what I mean, the recent times that we've seen act in this manner. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Okay, so we're a week in. I mean, we're only a week in from the game's release officially,
right?
Which is a little bit where I'm seeing where you're kind of worried about, but like there's a couple of things that could be done. First off, like you said, like I mean, you would have to play the story, but as a different character, like you would do in Destiny and stuff. But I guess my biggest question is that now when the first Destiny, or maybe even Destiny 2 came out, like how bare was the end game itself specifically? Like was there still a lot of stuff that could be done? I mean, I'm legitimately asking because I'm not really sure. Like when you hit the end game of like these looter shooters, brand new looter shooters that don't have like, you know, information or that doesn't have any like, you know, raid boss or any of this stuff because it's just came out and stuff. Like how like what did y'all do for those kind of games, or was there enough content to be content until it came out? No, okay.
No, especially Destiny 1 when it first came out, dude. It took them a while to be able to build up enough content. But yeah, you hit this wall hard with it, and you're just like, what do I do now? But then, of course, they came out with raids and stuff like that. Here's my thing, though. They have self-described this as a non-live-to-service game, okay? I don't... Huh? And that's what I'm saying.
You have to be
online. Like clearly, it's like there's no way in hell.
Yeah.
Like clearly, this is not a you are making tweaks to builds and stuff like that. That is a live service game. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but that is a live service game. And if you don't treat this like a live service game, this game will die because there's not going to be enough content. You saw what I did in a week, dude. Yeah. There's people miles ahead of me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't imagine what the hell are they doing. You know, so yeah, go ahead, Lex.
I watched Dust endgame it after podcast last week. I sat in the other room and I watched Dust by himself because I think the girls were coming back into town and you had to go run some errands and stuff. And so he was waiting for you, but he was like, I'll play by myself for a little bit. He endgamed. And I watched the whole thing unfold. And I was like, well, I'm going to need to know about this for next week. So what does that do? What's this do? Why is she in a wheelchair? What happened to this person? Why did that guy just, you know, yada, 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 you know? And he kind of like, because he likes explaining things. Yeah. It's pretty cute. Like he nerds out. So he was like nerding out, telling me all this stuff. And I watched him play the end game. And then I saw the credits roll and like the visuals after that. And I was like, this is a beautiful game. He was like, isn't it? And he kind of scooted over and we're like this, like watching the whole thing, you know? Right. And it was really interesting. And I was like, okay, so now what? And he was like, well, I didn't really get a lot of drops. So now I need to keep going. I was like, well, how many legendaries did you get? And he went, none. He goes, I hope Smitty wants to play later because I need some more loot. I was like, all right, cool. And so, like, I think you guys were right. This isn't a game that I really want to play. But I think if I had someone that I knew for a fact was like, sit down and play this with you every day from noon to 4:30, Monday through Thursday, I'd be like, okay.
Monkey Blood says said inside the chat, just like anyone else could say, like says no versus mode to hold you over between DLCs. And yeah, I mean, and you know what I think? This is what I think. I think that this game needs like, a calendar of progress. Like, cause like that's the one thing that's the one thing I feel like this game is missing out of all of the things that they've been doing. Like, cause they don't even have a process of what we should be hyped on, what y'all are trying to build for this game. Which is, that's the weird thing about Outriders for me, because like, for instance, when Anthem came out, Anthem already had like a calendar of what their future plans was going to be, even though despite it failed. Same thing for the Division 2, same, Destiny, even the first, well, the Destiny 1 not so much, but like in Destiny 2, they did have an outline of what they were wanting to do, a crude outline, but an outline nonetheless. Something that they would show on the paths of what they're going to do. Because your fear is very validated at this point. Because like you're right. Because there's going to be a part where you're going to be like, okay, I've done everything. I'm a basic god in this game until they bring the new content out the new story additionals and stuff. Because I'm in the mode that I feel like the DLC in this game is going to be free. There's no season passes or anything on this deal from what I've gathered, because they haven't given us any information on what their plans are to further support this game. But like, but for right now. I guess we could just segue this to my thing, which was me reviewing like how this game is itself, which I'm just gonna just take the mic from you, Smitty. This one, do. But I think I'm sorry, what were we gonna say, Lex?
I would like to point out, Kith, I'm so sorry that if you said that I didn't catch it, but he says it's absolutely a game you have to play with a group. I disagree with that, because I watched Dust Endgame it all by himself.
It's boring. No,
but it's more fun with friends.
I'm sure. Absolutely. I'm sure it's much
it's a different experience.
Like, here's a good thing. Zakara is a good example of this, because Zakara got a copy of the game for free, and was playing the game. Was playing the game. And but he was playing by himself. I think I was the first one that came on his thing, and I played with him, and it was a fun experience. And it's a fun experience. Like you can still play the game by yourself by all means, but I think you'll get a better grasp, or better, it's just ridiculous on when you're playing with other people, because that's why I love about this game. It's like it is fun as hell when you play with your friends and stuff like that.
And really, it was disappointing to see Dust go by himself when we had gone that far together to go through the end game. I'm going to call you out, son. Yeah. I was like, I can't believe you went through, man. I can't believe it. So now it's this guy that knows everything, and we experienced the whole story together.
Except the end game.
Don't do that to your friends, folks. Yeah. Don't be like Dust.
Zakara's the preacher right there.
You're literally summoning him into the room to smack me in the back of the head. So stop it.
So Zakara the Tall says it's night and day difference doing solo and group play, and it is so true. Like you can play the game. I mean, at least it says that you can play the game solo if you want to play solo. So there's some people that like to play the game on their own and just experience the story on their own. And then, but to play this game is legitimately, even if you play co-op and stuff, it's fair. It's what's cool. What I love about this though too is I hate when you play multiplayer games and you can play co-op with other people. There's a thing there's that. I mean, it's still kind of there, but I love that there is no phantom mode, which basically means when you're doing your story in your game, they don't acknowledge the other two people in multiplayer mode. So there you go. See, now you're making this stuff real towards you. But I'll be like, So you see the people that have their cars that were fully customized is with you in your story of your game. They're all parked inside the camp together and stuff like that. It's like the customization and stuff is there, and then you have the battle system. When you go in these battle areas and stuff, it's just fun. So I mean, it's not. They didn't reinvent the wheel. This game is exactly what it is. It's just a shooter. It's fun to play. You're playing waves of monsters, but you're having really cool stuff to do it with. And I think the emphasis of the story is a lot bigger than what you see than any other looter shooter that's currently out there. I mean, what do you think, Smitty?
Yeah, I agree. The story was great. I really enjoyed the story. Like I was saying, because Dust had said something. He was like, "Hey, you've been reading the journal things." I was like, "Nah, not really." He was like, "You should really start reading them." So I started reading them as we went along, and they really, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they'd really help to give you a little extra deepness into the story that's playing out in front of us. And they really complemented the action, the story, from in-game to having these short notes and things that you would read that would give you a little more depth to the story that was happening. Mm-hmm. I felt like they did a really good job. I'm really excited about that. And the new content they come out with that. But again, now I'm at a point where I'm starting to get nervous as to, all right, man, you're saying this isn't a live service game, but there's no way that you don't treat this, and you have not been treating this like it's a live service game. So I feel like it would almost be a misstep to, again, be like, all right, and I get it. You don't have to be tweaking and turning things all the time, but you've got to give me a reason to come back to the game, whether it be new events, new characters, new story. You've got to, once I hit that wall and I've gotten basically everything, it's going to be hard to come back, and you can start, I think we'll start seeing that. And my biggest thing is that, again, I've gone super hard on it, but it's only been a week. And I'm already starting to get nervous at this point about it. Like, that makes me more nervous.
No, I mean, the way you've been playing this game, though, has been playing it pretty hardcore.
I've been very aggressive.
Overall.
I've been very aggressive about it.
I find it funny that's what the stuff that you're kind of worried about. Like, I mean, the level is like the stuff that you're worried about is something that you would think that the person would be worried about in a month time, because that's how fast you kind of went into it, and that's why I'm just like, you know what, like, that's why you kind of want to pace yourself or slow yourself a little bit and see what's going on, but
no, all in or nothing.
Yeah, I mean, because literally,
I said I was all in, dude. This is what I was supposed to do.
Your literal first
Anthem.
day of playing this game was a 15-hour stream of this game, and that's insane.
It was 19 and a half hours.
Oh yeah. So I mean, yeah. You went through.
You pulled a me.
Did you even do all the side quests and stuff, or did you?
No, I went back later. We primarily were going through the main story.
That's what's scary to me.
Yeah.
Like, I did the side quests, I did everything along the way. Like, we did all the bounties, the hunts,
mm-hmm.
the ridiculous Outriders legacy quests and stuff. All that when we were doing the story, and it was like, okay, this was we did it all at the same time, but like you
were having major connectivity issues as well, though.
Yeah.
So like when we could play, we were just trying to focus. We had gotten to the point where we were getting frustrated from getting kicked from side quests or whatever. Mm-hmm. To like, dude, let's just focus on the main storyline, trying to grind through that. So that's what it ended up turning into, and then going back and finishing off all the side quests and stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Let's see what's going to be. Do you have anything to say, Lex? I'm sorry. I didn't know if I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I mean, the game looks cool. No shade to anybody who plays it. It's just not necessarily my jam. I don't know. I've really dipped my toe into the horror realm, and then something pulled me in, and now I'm drowning in it. And I'm happy about it. So, teach their own. But I would say a year and a half ago, I would have been all about this game. All about it. Absolutely. I was also looking at like Monster Hunter Rise the other day, and I was like, man, I really love Monster Hunter. Maybe I should buy that. And I was like, not really interested. Mm-hmm. I feel like my problem is if it's not that I wouldn't play it, it's I know if I play it, I'm not going to stop. And they don't give me enough medicine to be awake that long. So, I can't. Like, I physically can't. It was like when Path of Exile, like, I was obsessed for 3 days. I was like, I have to stop. Like, I'm squinting. I can't see, but I'm loving every minute of it. But it's just, to me, like, it was draining me physically, and I just couldn't do it. And I know that if I got into this game, I would love it, and I wouldn't stop playing it, and I would just literally put myself in an ER because I have to sleep. But when I'm in, like, there's been games many a times. That's how I met DFP. I stayed up all night playing Void Bastards because I couldn't stop. I played that for 23 hours.
My God.
So,
it's good. That is fun.
Why do you think I haven't picked it back up? Because I know I'll do that again.
Zakar the Tall says, said too, it's like, I'm hoping that they are going to not treat it as a live service game and just do massive expansions every year or so. So I'm fine with not having this game to be another quote unquote job. And you know what? I would think that I think they would need to treat it like how, I think the best live service game that's out there to me right now on how they're doing their stuff and their content is Division 2. Because of they did do an expansion, but they did an expansion 2 years after it made, but then they had a very detailed calendar of what they were adding to their services to it. And I think that if they have that, I think this is what's kind of holding me back to saying that Outriders is a must get at this price. The only thing that I would say that the reason why I liked Outriders to be at 60 is that I know that there's no additional add-ons that you have to pay extra for DLC, the $30 year pass or any of that nonsense and stuff that you know that you're not going to get that. But the thing that worries me is kind of like what your worry is, Smitty, about content wise, about where they're going to go from there, because they haven't said any, they have been incredibly vague on what their process is, even though as transparent as they have been on the issues that failed the game initially. They need to kind of show okay, it's out, y'all have stabilized it enough to be people can truly have their view of this game. What are you going to do to keeping on going? I mean, you got a freaking calendar release for Marvel Avengers, for crying out loud. Same company that released this. You don't have one for this is what is the only concern that I have. And if they do something like this, they need to do what Zakara is saying. It's making them free updates and announcements, and then if there's that, because eventually there's going to be that point where they have to do an expansion, where they'll be oh, here's an expansion of the story that we've been told that we're telling, and then go from there. But so if they had that, then I could say that this is a must get.
Yeah. And you got to remember too, the Division 1 did not do it very well. It wasn't until later on in Division 1 that they really nailed down their live services and what they were doing. And then they carried that over to Division 2, came and hit that hard. They were running in full stride when they made Division 2. So I agree. That's probably one of the best experience. And I haven't played it in a grip, but they are very thorough with their stuff. And it's been out there. I think in this case, especially with the company, I think they've always been trying to manage the expectations, and they didn't want to say this or that to get people all hyped up and this, because we've seen how that's failed so many times. I would like to think and believe that they do have a map out and they wanted to see what the response is. But again, you can't get a good gauge of that because of the connectivity issues. So they're having to deal with that stuff first. And then I think we'll start getting this information as far as what the future of this game looks like and what their plans are moving forward with content. I'm excited. Again, I feel like they are, as far as the launch, other than the connectivity issues, they've been I've felt like this has been a very positive experience. I'm enjoying the game. So we'll see.
Well, there we go. Alrighty. And we'll close this off with Lex's topic. So, Lex, what are you bringing to the table?
Topics today? Which, okay, can I
Well,
just say,
technically,
I thought today should have been called Monkeying Around, but they didn't like that. So, Elon Musk has a neurotech company. If you didn't know, well, I just told you. So now you do know. You're welcome. And they have a cute little monkey. And what they did was they implanted 2 devices on its left lobe and its right lobe. I believe frontal lobe, but they put neural links inside of this little monkey. I always say Pager's type of monkey incorrect. They're called a Makai. That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong. But basically what they did was they started this monkey. Now, if they're going to show you the video, through the straw he's being fed a banana smoothie. Why is it saying stop it? My page keeps trying to disappear. So he's being fed a banana smoothie and he has a joystick. Now what they're doing is they're configuring the Neuralinks. He's 6 weeks post-op. So now they are starting to heal. They're becoming responsive. And basically what they've done is they've taught this monkey how to, okay, you take the joystick and you find the colored dot, right? Over and over and over and over and over again. And it's been repetitive. But then in his spare time, they're letting him play Pong. Well, what's great about Pong is, it's pretty easy of use. And they've taken the joystick away from him, right? Now over this several weeks, they've calibrated his neural links. And now his favorite game Pong, which they started him with that first and not the colored dots, but he can play Pong with just his mind, because in the neural links, you'll see his little hand move a little bit once they take the joystick away, because he's imagining what hand movements he would have to physically do, right, to move the paddles back and forth. And so basically, now we're all going to become zombies and the world is going to end. You're welcome. That is all.
Well, just kidding. When I saw when you told me about this article, I'm just like, first off, like, what? So why are they doing this? Like, I mean, like,
and that's a good question. So actually, the reason they started this were for people who have neurological disorders, or maybe some of us are not all born the same. I'm differently abled, and a lot of people are. Unfortunately, some people are born without both of their hands. And there are ways around that, and there are devices and things that they can get. But now with a Neuralink, they wouldn't have to do something like that. They can think about how they imagine their hand would move, and bam, it would just work. So typing is a possibility for them. Because I'll tell you, for someone who doesn't see well, I do use a lot of programs. And some are great. Most are terrible. And the ones that aren't terrible, you have to pay for. And it's like, well, I'm disabled and I only get this much a month and I have to pay for these bills. And afterwards, I have $50 to my name. How am I supposed to now afford a program that helps me type, that is speech to text, or that reads me, if I'm blind, reads me, certain documents and things like that, which half the time, most documents aren't even readable. So, the applications are tremendous and almost limitless if you think about it. So, if you're quadriplegic, this is revolutionary for you, and could potentially help you to play video games or, work an office job again, if that's what your dream was, or, marketing, or, whatever you wanted to do in life. Now it's possible because you don't have to have this with you. Huh?
No, I mean, like, yeah. So basically using your your brain waves just to let things move and stuff. Every time I always think of this, like when I'm seeing this thing, I'm like thinking, it just automatically makes me think, it's like, oh, this is This is the infantile states of what becomes like, Sword Art Online, which is like jacking into the internet and just doing things cybernetically, or Ghost in the Shell kind of situations,
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, yeah.
What's the movie with the monkeys that can talk and stuff?
Oh, that's Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the
Yeah,
Apes.
same thing.
Yeah. So
That's
those kind of
what I
things.
imagine.
Oh my god. It's like, oh, we're going to be saying, you can't say it, it's Congo. Although,
I never really thought about it in those respects either, as far as with it being able to help people that have disabilities and things, which I think is fantastic. Again, it makes me look at would that stuff be accessible to them? Would it be affordable to them? Is that something that you know what I mean? Because from what I've seen people like Little Yachty and stuff like that signing up for this thing, and it instantly made me have a negative. I felt negatively about it seeing that, because you know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is like, well, you got to treat this like this is a luxury item, and I never even thought about the potential benefits to people where that does lie.
Right.
So I'm conflicted on this.
And
I think good.
I understand that sentiment. For instance, the whole like hangover cure that people get, like for people who are rich, like they come to Vegas, they party all weekend, and they have a nurse come to their hotel room and hooks them up to an IV. Do you know those vitamins? Because people are paying for them, there's not enough for cancer patients, and that's what it's for. It's for cancer patients to get their vitamin D levels back up, so that they can get more chemo treatments. My aunt was getting them regularly, and my cousin and her little hoity-toity friends would come over and they'd all get it together, which I'm sure my aunt internally was like, I hate you all, but never said it. But here's the thing, and there's a lot of things in life that I don't think people realize were meant for the disabled. So when you come to a stop sign, you're walking down the sidewalk, the light is red, you do not have the walk signal yet. When you look down, there are those dots, right? And it angles down for ease of use. It's not for you. That's for someone with a wheelchair who is possibly has no peripheral vision and can't see very well. And so that they don't, accidentally wheel themselves into traffic because they can't see. There's texting was for the blind. It was never meant for us. So, I mean, we have all of these things that we take as granted. And I think, the more I lose my vision, the more respect I have for people who have been doing this a lot longer than I have. Because it's, you don't really think you need something till you need it. And, I think with something like this, it would almost, I think, let's say like medical sense, my mind goes to cochlear implants. So if your insurance okays it, cochlear implants are about $90,000 a piece.
Ooh.
So usually they only get one, right? They only get one on one side. And that's $90,000, and insurance should cover it, especially if they're already on disability and they've had like 2 to 3 doctors write off
that's like in a perfect world if that's like in the perfect world if the insurance is not going to fight you back on something like that.
Usually they have Medicaid, so yeah, you'll probably have to fight them, but eventually they'll give in. My first brain surgery was $120,000.
Yeah, but like but some of these things, like depending on like the biggest thing is age. I think it's a little bit of ageism when it comes to that kind of level of stuff. Like when you're saying like for an implant, especially when you said Medicaid, you have to be like a certain age to get to that level to that, right?
When you're on disability, you if you're receiving disability checks, you get Medicare. I have Medicaid. I get government assistance because I can't afford insurance, because I have no income. So I get Medicare, right? I always forget which is which. But when you're on disability, you get one of the two. And the difference is they have to pay a copay every once in a while. Very rarely, but they'll probably have to pay like a little bit for prescriptions. I, on the other hand, don't have to pay for my prescriptions, and I don't have to pay for any of my specialist visits, which would be $150 a pop every single time.
Oh, well,
Even
I mean,
receiving disability checks, I can't afford that, right?
I think kind of getting, yeah. Well, switching on to the topic, specifically for this itself, though, like with this kind of technology, the possibilities are there, but I don't know the accessibility is. I think is where it's going to be. Is where I would be fearing for at this level.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree. Like, this is very like in the beta stages. I don't think until later on they'll roll this out and it be accessible for people with disabilities who are quadriplegics or such. Or people with like horrible fibromyalgia where they can't move most of their day. I think that would be great because think about it. It could help run their house. Like, oh, turn the lights on and bam, maybe they can't speak. Maybe they're mute. That could be in in my mind, I'm thinking there's so many capabilities for this and I think it's awesome. Like there's like an endless bout of possibilities.
What are you talking about? About Lil Yachty? Lil Yachty was wanted in on this.
There's been like different talks about like signing up because you could like sign up to basically be part of the beta program or whatever as far as getting implanted and whatnot. And I've seen all these, and I'm just like, because like already that makes me think this is going to be used not only for good, but it's going to be used for bad, whatever bad means to you, but in a way, and it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, and again, who knows what the intentions are specifically. I'm weary in itself having something that is controlled inside of your brain, in your head, that is hackable. That is, who knows what kind of stuff they're pulling from you. We're talking Westworld, folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what they could do with that kind of data and what kind of raw data they be pulling directly from your brain and what they're doing then with that. That's the part that makes me nervous because again, anytime you have something like this, that there's always both sides. There's the goods of it, but there's also the possibilities, and somebody will look and try to throw enough money at it to be able to get a hold of this technology, or even being able to emulate it. Now you've got Neuralinks, Burrolinks, Surrolinks. You know what I'm saying? like I don't know, man. Like this is one that's like, I think the tech, like what they've done here is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating at being able to do that, but it's just like and again, maybe that's the pessimistic side of myself, but it's like I'm a little leery about stuff like that.
Yeah, I can understand the concern of that.
You also got to remember, like, to get like actual brain readings, like if someone stole your readings of your brain because you have the Neuralink, right? Hacking into it would just stop the Neuralink from probably working. But the Neuralink wouldn't necessarily give away your brain function. Does that make sense? Like, you would have to be like a neurologist or a neurosurgeon to be able to read that raw data. So them trying to steal that from you would probably be 0 to none, because why bother? I'm
speaking.
I'm just saying
that's how I feel too. And not only that, but just even the mapping and then collecting that data, I may not be able to understand it, but there's some smart ass out there that knows how to interpret it and how to take it and apply it in a physical or some sort of form possibly. Again, I'm coming from a very Westworld point of view, but I very much believe that's something that people will try doing. Again, people are always looking for the fountain of youth, right? Or basically immortality. That, in my opinion, is your first step. Is basically taking someone, cloning their personality, putting it into a different body, or having it live as data somewhere, and then you can pull it up wherever. I very much think that is a possibility, and if they're not already doing it, being able to essentially taking your soul, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it freaks me out a little bit. It freaks me out. I might be old school in that.
I totally agree with you there too, because it's just another sense of like another sense of something that you could have to be worried about of getting into when you have that kind of thing. But I mean, we're talking about we're at a level right now with a monkey with an implant. So we got ways to go for that thing to come again. Yeah. But then if they're already putting a beta and alpha test and they're having people to sign for this kind of stuff like Lil Yachty and stuff, it's like, what is going on?
I think for him, like he thinks Okay, so it does sound really cool, and when you first look at it and you think about it, but really, like, most of the time, it's probably going to be faster and easier for you to get up and do whatever it was you're going to do in the first place, right? So that's why it's for people who are disabled, right? That this is what this technology is going to be for. And it's like, him basically signing up to like do a drug trial for an HPV medication, essentially. And I don't think he realizes that. Like, you're literally signing up for a drug trial, but they're putting something in you. Also, the capabilities of this being affordable to like just normal people is highly unlikely. I mean, a cochlear implant is $90,000. You think a Neuralink is going to be less than that? Oh, no.
Yeah, well,
so that's where, I don't know. I just thought it was cool.
yeah, people create things for the best intentions, and then they can become something different. Yeah.
So it's kind of gaming related.
Yeah, no, it is very cool. I mean, this whole process, like watching that video from, it had the controller, and then all of a sudden they unplugged the controller, but it still was there. Then they took the controller out completely, and it's like, whoa! I was like, even when the controller was there, but it was unplugged, it was controlling it with its mind at that point in time. It's just like, holy shit, that is crazy.
Holding the straw, but you can see, like, in his wrist, he's making micro movements. So he's thinking about, because that straw is what's giving him a banana smoothie, and that's what's keeping him there, like keeping his attention focused. But you can see like his little wrist moving, like he's like, okay, right, left, up, down, and I think the heck, scared the daylights out of me in my house. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. Did Dust throw something at you too?
I don't know. That was weird.
It sounded like you kicked your mic stand. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought it was
well, good topic. I would say that. That would be good.
That was very cool. It's very interesting.
Lex,
yes.
what do you have planned for the week?
I have good news. I'm getting vaccinated. I got okay. So Thursday I'm getting vaccinated. I may cancel stream for that night. So I might make up for Thursday night for Friday. But yeah, I'm really excited. So we're gonna play games, Little Nightmares 2, some DBD, and I'm getting vaccinated. I'm real excited.
You are really hyped. That's good.
I'm so hyped because not that I like going outside, but now I have the option to.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's there. It's there for good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and I'm putting less people at risk, so.
Very much so. That's very true. At least you see, I like the fact that you can go outside again. So that's cool. What about you, Smitty? What do you have planned up?
You already know. Outriders, probably do some Destiny, and then Overwatch has their event going on, the archives event stuff and whatnot. So I might try to get a little Overwatch in as well, because it's been a little bit since I had done those. I think they have like some new challenges, they have some new skins and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be on that life doing that stuff. What about yourself, brother?
Oh man. Okay, so Monday through Wednesday, I am going to finish Bravely Default 2. That's my goal of this week. One of the three is going to finish Bravely Default 2. Then Thursday and Friday, we usually do a variety one. So we usually get a game that I don't usually stream, or something that's out that I want people to know about. So we're going to probably do some more of this stream from the game Record of Lotus Wars. This is an awesome Metrovania game of it called Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth. It's a real long title. I'm surprised I said it right this time around, but it was a real fun. We were playing it yesterday. I was playing it for like 3 or 4 hours yesterday. It was so much fun. I definitely want to finish that game up. Then on Friday, I don't know if I want to do some more Monster Hunter and whatnot, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. And hopefully by the beginning of the week after, we're going to switch to a new game that I play for the 3 days or so. So we got some pretty cool stuff coming in the mix. Also, we're going to be doing working on some this really cool interview with hopefully and information with Netflix. So definitely stay tuned on that. So looking forward to that. What? It's even on Netflix, man. Well,
yes,
he might be. I don't know.
He's got reruns, but yeah, he's Will Wheaton.
It is not Will Wheaton. No. So definitely looking back on it.
Forever and ever.
guys. Yeah, but yeah, but definitely stay tuned. It's check it out on CFG Games. So it's gonna be really awesome. But in the meantime, guys, this was episode number 87 of the CFG Gamecast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation, as always, each and every week. Next week we will be back again in the normal throughout the normal excuse me, the normal time. We're gonna actually have a special guest this time. We're gonna have one of our old school hosts coming in on the mix with it.
My replacement.
Yeah, your replacement. The person that you replaced, in other words. We got Flexus is coming back, so we're going to be doing a good 4-panel conversation panel for that. So definitely stay tuned on that. It's going to be a fun one. But if you missed this episode, as always, we like to publish this out at the beginning of each week every Monday. So definitely go on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, any podcast service. There's no excuse for you to not see this show. But definitely show us some love, give us a like, a follow, a comment, whatever on any of those spots, or go to our website, confreaksandgeeks.com. So, guys, this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing off. Y'all, take it easy.
Bye.